Welcome everyone to this Age of Empires 4 build order, and today we're doing the Abbasid Dynasty 2 Town Centre build. So this is an updated video because I do have a build order on the channel for the Abbasid Dynasty, but I wanted to keep an updated one because of course things have changed in the recent patches. In any case, we start off as usual by queuing up villagers in our town centre, and we take the first 6 villagers to go to the mill and the berries. The first villager that pops out from the town centre will go to gold, and of course we've taken our scout to find as many sheep as possible. Now, one of the reasons why this is so strong is because the Abbasid Dynasty can go up with the economic wing from the House of Wisdom and research fresh foodstuffs in Feudal Age. Now, this halves the cost of each villager in terms of food, so you can essentially produce 2 villagers for the price of 1 compared to other civilizations. Now that we've got that 1 villager to gold, we're going to send the next 2 villagers to wood. Now there are some adaptations to the build as well, which I'll mention afterwards, but I do things in this particular way because it depends on what you're up against. If you're up against French knights, for example, you want to get that second town centre as soon as possible, and you want to mine the stone, which is usually further away from your base as soon as you can, because it's kind of no use being left with, say, 290 stone when you need 300 for a town centre. So I'm actually going to mine the stone a little bit early, just to make sure we get 300, and then we can focus on the wood to get the second town centre. Now that we've got 2 villagers to wood, we're going to send the next villager to gold. And after we've got 2 villagers on gold in total, we're going to send the next 2 villagers to food at the mill at the berries. As you can see, once we get the new 2 villagers to food, we will then have 8 villagers on food, 2 villagers on wood, and 2 villagers to gold. So we keep our scout active as usual, keep getting as many sheep as possible, and when we do have 8 villagers on food, we'll send the next 2 villagers to wood. We also need to keep an eye out on our wood count because as soon as we have 50 wood, we need to take 1 villager from wood to build the House of Wisdom. Now this is great timing because as soon as the House of Wisdom is up, you should then have enough gold and food to click up to the next stage. Of course we're going to go up with the economic wing and we're going to take full use of the fresh foodstuffs technology. Okay, so we've got 8 on food, 2 on wood, 2 on gold, so we're going to send the next 2 villagers to wood. Okay, there we are. We have the House of Wisdom up, and we're just going to do a drop off at the mill, and we've queued up the economic wing. Now at this point, we're going to send 4 villagers from the berries to go to stone. Perfect. And now I've got 4 villagers on wood in total. We're going to send the next 4 villagers to stone as well to make 8 in total on stone. So we are going pretty aggressive on the stone, and the reason for that is because we want to get the stone as quick as possible, and I'm demonstrating to you guys a build where it's kind of where you can achieve it under a lot of pressure early on. So if your opponent is being very aggressive, this shouldn't be a problem for you with this build order. We're also going to allow a little measure of safety in the build order by taking the villagers off the berries to the sheep town centre, just so that they're protected. And if you can keep the villagers on the berries, that's more than ideal, because of course that's the fastest food gathering for the Abbasid Dynasty at this stage. And we're also going to take those 2 villagers from gold to the wood line once you've hit 125 gold. The reason why we're aiming for 125 gold is because that's what fresh foodstuffs costs. Again, if you can afford to keep the villagers on gold, I'd recommend keeping them on gold so that you can actually look to get an early wheelbarrow upgrade. We need to take 1 villager from gold to build a house though, that is for sure. And so yeah, those will be our 2 adaptations. We can bring the berry villagers to the food at the town centre, the sheep there, just so they're protected, and also the 2 villagers on gold to go to wood, just if we want to get that town centre extra fast. But to be honest with you guys, if you're not under any pressure, I would keep the villagers there because of course the berries are the fastest gathering source of food for the Abbasid Dynasty, and of course you want the gold for an early wheelbarrow and economic upgrades. So there we are, we hit the feudal age, and now we are going to get the stone villagers to drop off the stone at the mining camp and go to wood as soon as we hit 300. We've kind of overshot a little bit, that can happen, 332, that's kind of fine. As I said, we got the stone early just in case you're being harassed at the stone mine. You know, you want to be able to safely get the 300 stone to get the second town centre. So now that we're approaching the 5-minute mark, just for demonstration purposes, I've taken the villagers from the berries to the sheep just to demonstrate that this build works even if you have to do that. And as soon as we hit 400 wood, we're going to drop that second town centre. If you do bring the villagers to go to the sheep, you may have to force drop off a little bit like we did there. But it's not the end of the world, and there we are. There's our second town centre on the wood line. We've got protected sources of food in sheep and protected sources of wood. And this is great because now if you want to produce military, you know, you might want to go for a stable for horsemen, an archery range for archers, just to fend off any early aggression from your opponent. Or even better, you might be the one who's going to be aggressive. And there we have it. It's 5 minutes, 30 seconds. We've got our second town centre. We've got fresh foodstuffs coming in. And this is a hugely powerful build order. You can boom away now and just focus on your military, pumping out those villagers. If you kept the 2 villagers on gold, you'd be able to actually get the wheelbarrow upgrade very, very soon. And even double broad axe, which will be really, really good for your economy. And there's your build order. You're on the way now, 2 town centre booming with the Abbasid Dynasty, with the second town centre in 5.5 minutes. For me, that's incredible in terms of timing, and you're going to be well on your way to a, hopefully, successful game. And so guys, I hope you enjoyed this build order, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up, because it lets me know that you guys enjoy this content and that you want to see more. And do drop me a comment in the comment section below if you have any suggestions for adaptations. Oh, just generally how you felt the build is. Like, if you think this is something you're going to use on the ladder, do let me know how it goes. Either way guys, take care, and see you next time.